Last living blockbuster, Bend, Oregon.
Repeat. Back up. I feel like I wanted to mention. I talk about this right when I saw you post about it. Are they other stand-up comedians
Yeah,
that you were traveling with?
yeah. The two Nicks, Nick Lanier and Nick Meyer.
And yeah, I saw that you guys went to the last Blockbuster. Is that from the last Blockbuster? The shirt you're wearing that says Blockbuster.
Yes, and it's the one where the documentary is about too that came
Yeah.
out. So yeah, we just got done with the show, and I thought I'd been to bed before, but I hadn't. And yeah, we were about to leave. We had to go to get gas, and Nick Meyer was driving. He was like, "Oh, dude, you guys want to check out the last Blockbuster?" And I lost my shit, Elijah. I lost it. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. We gotta do it."
That's here. That's here.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so we did it, and I was just like, the entire time I was just like, dude, this is the greatest day of my life. Like it's a running Blockbuster, and they have old school posters, like they have posters of Hook and just shit like that. It was awesome.
No way, dude. They got the poster for Hook. Just kidding. But yeah.
No, the sign, like the actual book sign, like in one of the pictures we're acting like we're holding on to it. You zoom in, that motherfucker's sold. That thing, the paint was chipping. When we were taking the pictures, I literally had like pieces of paint, like old paint that was like stuck to my fingers, and I was like, I'm never washing these hands. But yeah.
See, I thought you guys
cool.
like Harold and Kumar to White Castle with it. Like,
No,
we're gonna make a trip to the last Blockbuster. That's kind of what I imagined the adventure being like when I saw you guys post it. I was like, oh my god, that's funny.
You want to know something that wouldn't be a bad movie though, especially because during the pandemic, they turned that into Airbnb.
Yeah, I saw that.
So
for like a couple of weeks, I saw that.
Yeah, that would have been
like you had their whole catalog to look through that you were able to watch, and it was just like a big theater type Airbnb in this with all the snacks and movies.
That could be an interesting movie. It's like all set during the pandemic, and these guys are just stoner kids are trying to sleep at the last Blockbuster.
Yeah, they just want to be somewhere safe where they feel safe, which is Blockbusters.
Yeah, this is Blockbuster. Oh yeah, zombie movie.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Yeah, I like that. We'll talk about that later. How you doing, Elijah?
I'm doing good. There's a lot to cover this week.
It really is.
The Scream trailer dropped the day our episode dropped, so we didn't get to have a reaction or anything to that. So there's a lot that happened since then too, which is insane because there's DC Fandom, which was on Saturday.
Oh my god, yeah, so much Batman.
They got big updates on TV shows on HBO Max and stuff about what's coming there and stuff. There's a lot of DC stuff. It's like 4 hours almost of just DC news that they're doing now since last year. It's the second year they've done it. Yeah,
it was very, 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 very interesting. I watched most of it. Now, there's some stuff like the video game stuff and the animated movies where I was kind of like, all right, I don't really.
And the TV shows, I was like, I'm not into that.
Yeah, some of those I'm very mixed by.
But if you're new here, welcome to History of Popcorn. And if you're not new here, welcome back. If you don't know what History of Popcorn is, we are your secret public movie club, and we are a podcast for all things movies, including movie news, movie reviews, and we just celebrate anything that's to do with movies. Isn't that right?
Yes, it is.
Yes, we are your hosts. I'm Elijah.
I am Justine.
And yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We've got a DCOM to revisit today.
Yes, I'm very excited to talk about that movie.
Yeah, so we've got a DCOM later with Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire. I have some Scream theories that I'm going to throw at Justin. We're going to do a quick recap of DC Fandom, which was on Saturday. And I'm going to talk about a biopic, Justin. And we teased an 80s remake from last week that we'll be covering.
Yes. Okay, cool. I love it.
Oh, that's our episode. If you're excited for that, we are too.
Yes.
Stick around for that.
I'm very excited.
So within the last week and the last 7 days, Justin, we've had a lot of trailers and a lot of news, but I've been excited about this one for a long time. Is the Scream trailer finally dropped, and we got footage of Scream, and it seems like a classic Scream movie. Like it looks like it's just all the same stuff, which I'm okay with because it's all about figuring out who's who and figuring out what's a spoiler and what's not. And I immediately took notes when I watched it because I was like, I have so many ideas already. There's already a cool Do you already know who the cast is and stuff, and what the characters' names are and stuff?
Not really the new cast. I know Dylan Minnette, the guy that's in
Mhm.
Wallows and 13 Reasons Why, and Don't Breathe, which he's fantastic in Don't Breathe. But that's about it. I hope that he does a good job because he hasn't been doing like 13 Reasons Why. I feel like has ruined uh some of his career. But I'm looking at them now though, and it's good to I'm just glad that we got the main three back.
The Legacy.
We got David Nev Campbell and Courtney Cox.
Yeah.
And dude, honestly, Dewey in this trailer, like usually if you watch like any other Scream trailer, like maybe they're like hiding some of it, but he's like a badass now. he was
Yeah.
he was
There's
not
I have a lot of theories about him. I mean, he's retired, so he's just like
like the part where he's like in the like going down that hallway and he's like,
yeah, they make him look way cool.
I was like that's pretty badass. It's pretty badass
He's no
Dewey that we're
longer
getting.
Bumbly Dewey, which is
No.
appropriate. And yeah, so he's retired. And what's it called? So there's new characters. Dylan Minnette, who you were talking about, his character's name is Wes, and he's named after Wes
Ooh.
Craven.
Interesting.
So he's going to be a big part of the future, I believe. I don't believe he's going to be a killer. I'm just going to say that off the bat. They already have like a poll, like a thing that says who he thinks is going to die, who the killer is on all the new characters. But Wes is based on Wes Craven, and he is the son of Judy Hicks, who is the cop in the fourth one, the blonde one with the lemon squares.
Right. Yes.
So she comes back, and there's footage of her, or there's a scene of her flying down the road screaming in her cop car, like for like a couple seconds. I think that's going to be her death scene. I think she is going to be an early kill because it says that Ghostface is like talking to her, saying that he's about to kill her son, and I think that's not going to be true. And then there's a character whose name is Vince, who's a good actor. His name is Kyle Gallner. I think you recognize his face. His name is Vince. He's the guy with the muscle car in the trailer.
Yes. Yes.
I have a theory about his character. A lot of people are like, oh, well, we know he dies then because he got attacked. He gets attacked by Ghostface, but just about everyone gets attacked by Ghostface in this trailer. So I have a feeling that Vince is going to be blackmailed by Ghostface himself, and he's going to be like a face that we can follow of like, oh, this guy is going to be like torn between doing the right thing and the wrong thing and not know, but he's not going to know who the killer is either because he's being manipulated by Ghostface. The Ghostface is the killer, not the person under it. So that's what I think. That's one of my theories. And there's a connection to Randy in the characters too. There's Meeks Martin. There's two characters who have the last name Meeks Martin, which is Randy's sister's kids. So it's his niece and nephew are in it, and they play twins. And that's Jasmine Savoy Brown and Mason Gooding. And it's a stretch, but I think one of the twins is the killer because they're mad that Randy got killed because of this legacy.
Oh wow, Mason Gooding is Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son.
What?
Yeah, it's interesting.
I didn't know that. He's up and coming, but I think he is one of the killers. I think he's the killer out of the two twins. I'm just gonna throw that out there as an early theory.
Okay.
But because he's like, I feel like they're gonna be a little bitter about what happened to their uncle Randy. And one of them is gonna just be like, well, we have to move on and honor him kind of, and the other one's gonna be like, no, we have to like avenge him kind of thing. But I don't know, because that's my theory. But
yeah, they did him dirty. They did Randy dirty in the second one. That was the worst part about that one. Spoilers for people that don't know.
They're basically going to be. I think the twins are going to be the conscience of the new audience of like, well, should we avenge Randy or not? Like, how do we approach that? That's my theory.
Yeah, I don't know. Like that's the thing is with this trailer. I feel like that there's a lot of scenes that they just shot for the trailer that aren't going to be in the movie. Because there's a lot of scenes where like people are like, blood and like getting stabbed and stuff, and it just seems like
the opening scene.
Yeah, I mean, like that probably. I think she's gonna end up surviving.
Yeah, the first survivor of any opening scene.
Yeah, I don't think they would go that. I don't think they would make that silly of a decision to show the entire like opening scene. I bet that's not even the opening scene too, because that's the great thing about the Scream movies that like they even when they are like kind of predictable, like the fourth one got a little predictable. it's still
And
fun, and there's still
incredibly
something.
meta.
Yeah, but there's still, even when it's predictable, there's still stuff that you don't really see coming, which kind of contradicts that. But you know what I mean. That's the good thing about the Scream movies, that they're cliche of themselves, but they do throw twists at you, and I think it's because of what they had to go through with Scream 2 and 3,
Mhm.
and even 4. But I mean, like, people didn't really care once 4 came out, but when Scream 2
And it
was
showed,
filming, they had a whole script. They knew exactly what was going to happen. Randy wasn't going to die like that, but the reason why they did that was because there was script leaks. It was like the first movie that the entire script leaked online. So they were like, well, fuck, we gotta do something to freak the people out. And so we're like,
Mhm.
we're gonna kill Randy. We're gonna bring in the mom and shit. So completely changed the entire dynamic. And the same thing with the third one. So like, who knows what's gonna happen with this? I know that the directors have already talked about like how it's been really challenging making the trailer in itself,
Oh yeah.
because they didn't want to spoil anything. So that right there kind of says to me as well, like, okay, so I feel like some of the things in the trailers, it's like kind of what Marvel does too. Like, some of the things in the trailers, it's not really going to happen like that, but it does look good though. I mean, like, the only part that I didn't really like is the fucking the line where Neve Campbell, Dewey's like, do you have a gun?
Do you have a gun?
And
Of
she's like,
course.
I'm Cindy Prescott. Of course I have a gun. It's like, okay, all right.
Yeah, but all of the people, all the fanboys who are just like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 50-50. It could go either way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but I think it's awesome though. I mean, like, I'm glad that these guys are all back. It's the only franchise where, like, seeing David Arquette and Courtney Cox is making me roll my eyes, Usually when I see David Arquette or Courtney Cox and something, I'm always like, hey, they're really trying something here. But they're just like,
yeah, it's been a while.
that's the thing about these Scream movies, that just those three, they just belong in this world. So I got a question for you though,
Yeah.
because this is something that's been floating around. Do you think Matthew Lillard is going to come back?
I do not think so.
You don't?
No. Too many early speculation of all of that always being a thing, I think, before even Scream 5 was around. And this one was being made, and I think everyone kind of just kept wanting to hold on to that. So I don't think so.
I remember when Scream 4 was coming out, everyone said that Jamie Kennedy and Matthew Lillard were going to come back.
I remember Jamie Kennedy theories. I remember that there was a real, I think I said it on an earlier episode. There's a convincing theory that he was put on like witness protection or something, or like became a recluse and started making tapes for people in the future if it ever happened again. And so,
which honestly, like, it's kind of a silly idea, but I mean, like, it's not that bad of an idea, especially for that universe, because the thing is, it sucked about me. Like, we don't have to. I can go on about Scream all for.
Yeah,
we could do an entire episode of Scream, which maybe we'll do sometime in the future before this comes out. But but Jamie Kennedy's character, that's the only performance of his that's like, so it's so good, and his character in the first one, even in the second one, even though I really hate how he dies. I think that it's his character is the best, and they keep trying to, especially with the fourth one, they tried to have those two, one of the Culkin brothers and one of the other guys. They tried to have them be the new versions, which didn't really work for me. Yeah, didn't really work for me. But I'm curious what this movie's gonna do, because even though it shows us quite a bit, it doesn't really show us all that much. It's not like one of those trailers where it's like, you know what I mean? Like, because like I said, I feel
it's a whole new world now, though, because it's like there's all these people now. It's like, what are they all doing? Who are they?
Exactly. And isn't that crazy that one girl from In the Heights is in this? And
she
looks so much younger. I don't know how they did it. Yeah, man. No, it's crazy how some people can nail it. Ben Platt should take some notes. I'm gonna go every episode trashing Ben Platt. Like, I'm gonna try to not, but I mean, like, I feel like it's gonna be like me and Phil Lord and Chris Miller for a while. I had to mention them at least once. I think it's kind of a cool
I'm very
idea.
Excited.
That's my only theory.
I'm very
I am too.
We should just break down quick things about DC Fandom. DC Fandom was DC's little Comic-Con virtual experience on their website, and they just have all the news of their upcoming properties and projects. I took notes of the main, like, big projects that are like mainstream film related or stuff like that.
Mhm.
So I'm going to start off with the most important, Justin. DC's League of Super Pets is the full trailer is coming November. They didn't even have like anything really to show. They're like, we have a trailer coming in November. That's about it.
Dude,
And they
isn't
have,
that
the character reveal of Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson? That's really
isn't that
funny.
just the stupidest thing you've ever seen? Dude, like it just shows like even with the good stuff that came out of DC Fandom, it just shows like even with them like doing this kind of thing, it shows how much of a mess that universe is. And it's kind of frustrating because even like the good stuff, it's being like undermined by how stressful like they're dealing with this their universe.
But yeah, they showed. Did you see the footage of Black Adam?
I did.
Looks pretty dark. Looks like it could be pretty good actually. I like Pierce Brosnan. I think you're indifferent about him, aren't you?
No, I like Pierce Bronson. I just don't like it
Okay.
when he sings.
Oh yeah, Mamma Mia.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it looks interesting. I'm curious to see how dark Dwayne Johnson really goes. From the trailer, seems like he's going pretty dark, which is kind of cool because he's been attached to this for a really, 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 really long time.
Yeah,
So
10 years.
yeah, it's crazy to me. So that's kind of cool. I want to see him go a different direction, and I don't really know why this has to be like a whole movie. I wish that like he was just in the new Shazam and was just a villain, but
Yeah,
who knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that much about Black Adam of his relevance to everything DC, but I guess it can be important. He's Superman level, I guess. But
yeah, he's just Shazam's arch nemesis who used to be Captain Marvel, but we can't use that. We can't say that anymore. But that's why it's like just kind of weird that they've always wanted to do a solo thing. It's kind of like when they released Venom, where it's like I don't understand how that's going to hold up, but you know that movie's making a dick ton of money, so who am I to say?
Yeah, people like villains. This comes out July 29th, 2022, Black Adam. They showed Aquaman stuff. I guess it's people are looking forward to that. Jason Momoa is super pumped. Everyone's back. More Aquaman.
Even the one
I heard she was back. Yes.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, for some reason.
It's just, I guess people, I don't know. If I knew one thing, I know that Warner Brothers doesn't care about continuity, so they could just recast. But
yeah.
Let's see. We're also getting a live action Static Shock. Yeah, they did.
Really?
Yeah. Michael B. Jordan is producing Static Shock. I don't know if it's going to be an HBO Max movie but it's going to be a feature movie, and it'll be pretty sweet. They finally announced that it's going forward. Like it's been rumored for a while, but they finally announced it to the mainstream of DC Fandom.
Oh.
That's going to be fun. There's not much news about that. I think do they have directors on that? I'm not sure.
Doesn't seem like it. They just kind of just announced it.
Showed a lot of Peacemaker stuff. Got a trailer and sizzle reel of that. A lot of John Cena. Seems like it could be a goofy movie, but John Cena is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
In a way. I
It's
don't know.
a
He
TV
reminds me
show.
of someone. He reminds me of a theater actor who doesn't know when he's on and off the theater or like in and out of the theater. Like he's just really over the top. But like I forgot who it was, but someone said every wrestler is a theater actor. You basically have to admit it. But
that's true.
Way more physical.
That's way true. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one. I love James Gunn and everything.
That's January. That's coming up too.
Yeah. No, it came really fast. That's another thing. It's like it's a whole TV show that they produced in like less than not even a year.
I wonder if it's like weekly and then it's like 8. I think it's like 8 episodes or something. I think they said there's not that many episodes, but still, yeah, they
it's
made
bizarre.
It fast, I feel like
it did move pretty fast, and like we said, like I showed it to my friend who she's a huge fan of the Suicide Squad, and she was like, I don't understand why they're doing Peacemaker when they should be doing Idris Elba's character.
Anyone else? I could do anyone.
I don't know why. Because like for people that I know that they've seen it too, like no one has said like John Cena was the best part of that. Clearly him and John Cena and why do I want to say James Gunn? I wanted to say Jude Law for a second. I don't know why. James Gunn, and clearly those two had a really fun time making the Suicide Squad. So who knows?
I think he liked how committed John Cena was to the character, and I was like, cool, because he seemed like he was the most committed out of everyone.
Well, yeah, he was the one that
He
was
did all
like
the press
dressing up.
with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. He was dressed up as the Peacemaker for every single thing that he did, which was kind of odd.
Mm-hmm. It's a choice. I mean, if when you're a superhero, I don't, or in the comic book universe, it only happens so often. So I guess you fanboy. He's a fanboy ultimately, but
Yeah.
like I think it was when we had an episode of Blanca where like I don't know a single person who's like a John Cena stan who's like I'm a John Cena
Yeah.
fan. I have a shirt or some sort of merchandise of his. I don't know anyone like that, but yeah, there's that coming out. We also saw what do you think of the Flash sizzle reel that they had?
That
They
was another
showed two
interesting one.
Flashes. They showed
Yeah.
Supergirl. We got glimpses of Batman and Michael
Yeah.
Keaton voiceover for the whole trailer, the sizzle
See,
reel thing.
That's the thing I'm most excited for is to see Michael Keaton as Batman again. But isn't it so weird that for a movie called The Flash, it just seemed like it should have just been called
It's an ensemble.
the Batman and Flash because it was mostly all Batman. It just seems like the movie is going to be the because I know DC's been like Warner Bros. And DC have been spearheading this one for a while just because they want to get rid of everything that Zack Snyder.
Yeah, they want to reboot it. Yeah.
So it's kind of a smart way to do it, you know. So I mean, like, it's yeah. I'm curious to see how it's gonna be. But
there's something I don't like about Ezra Miller anymore. Like,
that's what I'm with you on that. I don't think I like him.
Yeah,
I don't think I like him anymore either. He's just I don't know because he hasn't really done anything since. I know he's been like kind of tied into contract for this stuff, but
the Hogwarts stuff, whatever movies, what are those called?
Yes,
the Fantastic Beasts movies he's doing.
Yeah,
so he's just doing those two big characters or franchises, I guess. So
yeah,
he's
it just
on
sucks
Warner
because I mean, like,
belt.
I wish that he would do
indies or
small
something.
Stuff. Yeah, small stuff again.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know. Yeah, there's something that I don't like about his attitude or acting anymore. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because of what media has portrayed him as through leaks and stuff or just interactions, but I don't know what it is. I just don't like seeing him act anymore as the Flash. There's something about
it. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I mean, like I remember hearing like some like he had some kind of altercation with somebody, but I don't really care.
I didn't know if that was I didn't know if that was real or not still either. So
yeah, I don't really care about that. But you know, it's just more. I don't know. Like Justice League is definitely better in Snyder's Justice League than he was in Whedon's. But even in Snyder's, like his comedic timing was just, I don't know, it just seemed very forced. So I just can't imagine. I feel like that's why they brought back like Michael Keaton's Batman and they're like making this more of an ensemble because it seems like that he can't hold a movie
too. They're all coming back. So there's like, and there's going to be 2 Barry Allens, which is a theory that one of them is the Reverse Flash. But they should have called this movie like Flash 5 or something instead of The Flash. Cause like you said, it's like an ensemble. So it's like, there's 5 of them. There's 2 Flashes, 2 Batmans and a Supergirl.
Yeah.
That's 5. I don't know who else shows up, but
they should have just called it a Flashpoint. It was originally supposed to be called Flashpoint.
Yeah, it is Flashpoint. It's just that they're rebooting it, and they're like, no, we're not doing Flashpoint, but they're doing Flashpoint.
They're totally Flashpoint.
It is Flashpoint, yeah.
And like having it being called the Flash, like I'm wondering how successful this movie's going to be. I think it's all just going to ride on Michael Keaton appearing as Batman again. I feel like that because that's what the entire trailer was basically.
Yes.
It's more on that because even when you look at the title for the Flash, like, dude, the general audience can be so confused because there's already a Flash that they know and love, and they're looking at this one, they're being like, wait, what's like? I can't imagine for people that really have no idea.
Casual views.
Same thing with the other movie that we're going to talk about too. Like, I feel bad for them because you know it's so confusing now. It's not like Marvel where everything's just set and you know there's so. Yeah, it's strange. It's strange. DC is weird.
Yeah, I the more I see the stuff about the Flash movie, the more the less I'm excited about it because the Flash is one of my favorite DC characters. I just don't like the interpretation of Ezra Miller, and I don't like the way it's going, the direction it's going, honestly, the way it looks. But we'll see because that's a very small sizzle reel. They said they couldn't have a trailer or teaser or anything really except that what they showed. So we'll see what happens. We're also getting an HBO Max Batgirl movie, which they announced the casting for, which is another In the Heights character that we were talking about. I forgot where her name is off the top of my head. They announced that they're officially in pre-production, which means they're casting and stuff again. So they recently announced that J.K. Simmons is returning. So that just makes it even more confusing about what universe this is in.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
And they're also saying Batman is going to show up. And so we don't know which Batman that's going to be. If it's Commissioner Gordon, that means Ben Affleck would have to show up. But I don't know what to
Oh
expect.
God. Oh dear Lord. Yeah, this is just stressful. Good Lord. Leslie Grace. Oh, the girl that played Nina in The Heights.
Yes, she's our
Dude, yeah, no,
Batgirl,
that is
daughter
so.
of J.K. Simmons. So I
Oh
don't know what to
God, man.
expect or what universe that is. Like you were saying, we don't know for the casual viewers. Everyone's going to be like, where does this fall? How is this? Yeah, I'm excited for Batgirl though. I just don't know how it's all going to fit together anymore.
See, that's what I mean though. Like that's the thing that sucks so badly about their decisions on this is that like it's like you're shooting yourself in the foot because I mean like I wouldn't mind seeing a Batgirl movie too, but if it's gonna be in that universe, I don't know. Who know the Flash movie is gonna be the thing that's gonna kind of
Yeah, we got to wait and see
um
where this all goes because, yeah, how
because
it's all going to fit.
that could be that universe, but then we have the Pattinson, which I think that they're trying not to. That looks.
Connect to
We'll get to
anything?
that. We'll get to that
I
in a
don't.
second.
Okay, yeah. They gave us Shazam sizzle reel and they introduced Lucy Liu and Helen Mirren as bad guys. I was very excited to see
Yeah,
Lucy Liu on the big screen again. I haven't seen her in a big movie in a long time. I
yeah,
recently saw her in that rom-com Netflix movie, Set It Up.
yeah.
That's
Forgot about that
actually a
movie.
really funny one. I watched
Yeah, it
it for the
was.
first time. It's really funny. So yeah, that's something to look forward to if you like Shazam. It looked interesting. I'm excited for Adam Brody. I think Adrian Brody, Adam Brody.
Adam Brody. Yeah, his
He's
hair
in it.
looks weird though. What the
It's
hell are
really
they doing to his
long.
hair?
I don't know. Maybe they'll address it, but yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because that is something I noticed in the brief like amount of footage that they showed. I'm like, whoa, that's
Yeah,
an
very odd.
ice cream hair. Just
Yeah.
like yeah,
Um, I have a feeling that Black Adam's definitely going to make an appearance in Fury of the Gods, but who knows? I wasn't a big
post
fan of
credit
the
maybe.
first Shazam.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie, I'm a Shazam.
that is okay.
Shazam: The Monster Society of Evil, which
Mm.
very underrated comic book series. Was the first comic that I ever got, and I loved that. And then when they casted Zachary Levi as Shazam, I was like, okay, that's gonna be weird.
Mm-hmm.
But the movie wasn't bad. It's just I don't think it was. I think it could have been better. But seeing the trailer or seeing whatever the sizzle reel that we got here, I'm curious. I'm curious how it's gonna go. I like Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu being bad people though, because that I was not expecting that at all.
I didn't even know Lucy Liu was in it. I forgot.
I had no idea.
Wonder Woman 3 was announced. So yay, by Patty
Mm,
Jenkins. She's doing Wonder Woman 3. And then finally the next big main thing was that they finally showed a new trailer for The Batman. It was the trailer that they showed at CinemaCon and the sizzle reel that they showed at CinemaCon that we mentioned a couple episodes ago. But we finally got our eyes on the footage ourselves. And what did you think of the new Batman? Are you still excited for it?
hell yeah! No, this is the best. This is the one I feel the most badly about. I think it's still going to be a huge success because for anybody that was saying that Robert Pattinson wasn't going to be that good, like this trailer just proved everybody wrong. Like he just looks like him. He feels like Batman. His hair still looks weird,
Mhm.
but it looks awesome. And I love how they haven't showed the Riddler's face yet, but they showed a lot of the Penguin. Colin Farrell is the
Yeah,
Penguin, and
that's like
that
probably like
makeup.
all of his scenes, I feel like, because he, like we said, he
Yeah,
didn't shoot that much of the movie.
but I just like how they're setting up his character. That's why I feel bad for this movie because it seems like Warner Bros. Even though I don't know, it just seems like that they're not really riding on this one. Like, it doesn't really seem like they want to do that much more with it.
Really?
It feels like it's going to be like a one and done thing. I don't know.
I
I
I think
think
it's setting up a new trilogy.
it's going to
Honestly,
set up and I think it's going to be really good and it's going to make them
new
think
standalone
about
trilogy. That's what I
it's
think.
going to make them think about their decisions because if they were going to do a Batgirl movie, they should have had Jeffrey Wright be Commissioner Gordon, whatever. But I don't
Exactly.
know.
That's what I'm like. That's an interesting choice that they're going with J.K. Simmons. But hey, I don't know.
But hey, who knows? But it's still like it looks absolutely amazing. I just don't want them to set up all this stuff. Yeah, like I'm worried about like how many characters are in it. I just don't want them to set up all this stuff just for Warner Bros. To be like, all right, that was fun, but we're sticking with this weird Flash shit here, and Wonder Woman, and
Yeah,
all
people
this
like
odd
people want to see
Aquaman stuff.
Keaton's first. They don't really care about yours. I don't know. We'll see. I don't
Yeah,
know what they're gonna do. Hopefully they like. I kind of hope in the long run, DC live action films end up like DC animated films, where they're like, yeah,
yeah,
there's like three Robert Pattinson movies that are going on at the same time, but there's also like two Keaton movies going on that people can follow, and that's what I'm excited for. That when they can finally just start doing that once it's all established, and I think that's gonna happen after the Flash. So we'll see.
yeah.
Um,
Hopefully this, but honestly, like the Batman trailer fucking made me lose my mind. It was so good. This
I'm
is
very
probably
excited.
one of the best trailers I've seen, mainstream trailer I've seen in fucking who knows how long. It was so good, and every single shot of it is like a painting. It looks like a gorgeous movie, and the
Mhm.
cast is fantastic too. We get a lot of Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman as well, which
A
looks
lot
like
more. Yeah,
they're gonna have like a nice little romance
I'm very
thing.
excited for that.
Dude, yeah, no, it all looks really fucking good. And
I
Robert
expect
Pattinson
nothing
is like,
less from the
yeah,
team that's bringing it. I expect
yeah, no,
nothing less.
Matt Reeves definitely, man. He brings it. He hasn't done anything bad quite yet.
Let's get into some quick movie news before we get into our decom then. So that was DC Fandom from Saturday. Like there's some other news that were dropped like about games and TV shows and stuff, but we just followed the mainstream movie news of what's going to be on the big screen and what's not and all that. So, Justin, last week I talked about an 80s reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to know more about this 80s reboot?
I'm very curious.
I'm going to be honest, I never saw the original. It's on my
Okay.
list. It's one of those movies that's on my list. But it's from the 80s
Oh
and it's
my God, I'm
it
so
has two
nervous.
actors attached, but it's the Lost Boys reboot, the vampire
Oh,
movie.
okay. I was very nervous.
It has Noah Jupe, who played young Shia LaBeouf in Honey Boy, and Jaden Martell, who changed his name. He's changed his name a couple times now. His name is Jaden Martell now. He plays Bill Denborough, the kid version from It,
Okay.
and he's also in Knives Out a little bit. But they're the
Right.
new leads. And for those of you, do you know what Lost Boys is? Basically, it's vampires, right?
Yeah, it's a cheesy ass vampire film starring uh
The Coreys,
yeah, I don't think it was both of them.
Corey Haim and Corey Feldman are both in it.
Oh, okay.
Kiefer
Well, there we go.
Sutherland.
We got Keith Sutherland. We also have Jason Patrick, who also starred in Speed 2 Cruise Control. And we also had Diane Wiest. I had a lot of people, and it was also Joel Schumacher's like first big hit. Like
Yeah,
that's kind of what,
1988.
yeah, it's kind of what brought. And it's okay. It's cheesy as hell. I haven't seen it in
Yeah,
a
that's
long
why they
time.
want to make another one because they like the story. It follows two boys who moved to California,
They're
a
lost.
beach town specifically, and their mother gets involved with a gang of stylish bikers who happen to be vampires. It kind of sounds like Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire, which we just watched, but
Kinda.
we'll be talking
Yeah.
about that later. So, but I like those two actors. So the two boys are going to be Noah Jupe and Jane Martell. Those are both really good up and coming actors. Like I'm excited to see where they're going to go in the future. Um,
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the 80s reboot we were talking about last week. There's not much to say about that because I haven't seen the original, so I don't have too many opinions. I'm excited for another vampire movie, I guess. But let's see. I mentioned a biopic
You did.
to you. This is interesting to me. We're getting a Helen Keller biopic, which
Oh. Huh.
yeah, which is
Oh.
it sounds like it's gonna be definitely for awards season.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's going to be pretty interesting story. It takes place in the 1900s, of course, when she was alive. It's called Helen and Teacher, and it stars the daughter from A Quiet Place 1 and 2. She's going to be
Oh.
playing Helen Keller.
Wasn't she already deaf?
She is deaf, yes. So she's going to be playing
Yes.
Helen Keller. And I think that's going to be a really cool role for her because they also have a person who plays her translator, I believe. Anne Sullivan, who is her translator and companion, who is going to be played by Rachel Bronsonhan. How do you say that name? She is, I believe, and she's from the Marvelous Miss Maisel, I believe.
Oh yes, she is.
Mrs.
Oh,
Maisel.
her and I have the same birthday. Look at that.
Yeah, I don't know how to say her
Cancers.
last name. Bronsonhan.
Yeah, bro, Brosenham.
Yeah, so
You,
they're making a movie about her, and it seems like very interesting.
yeah, that sounds like exactly what you said. This sounds like an Oscar Beatty movie right there. But at least they got, whenever I hear that they're gonna do biopics like that, I just get like second embarrassment. Or I get nervous. But since it's like going to the girl from Quiet Place who's already hearing impaired, it's like okay, cool. That's a step in the right direction, kind of right there. Because wasn't Helen Keller blind and deaf?
Yeah, and she became a
So never mind, she can't do it. She's not blind. I'm just kidding.
she became a really big political voice, and it's going to follow that of her early years at Radcliffe College of Harvard University, when her rapidly expanding worldview and sexual awakening brings her into direct conflict with the more conservative Sullivan, who is, I believe, her translator. Oh, so it's about two people who have to work together but have contrasting views.
I've never seen that before.
Some call that drama.
Yeah.
So that's something to look forward to. I'm happy for that actress because she's. When I was excited for the sequel for Quiet Place, I watched a lot of interviews with her and how passionate she was about acting. So I'm excited.
I still haven't seen.
To do that.
I still haven't seen part 2.
It's worth watching. It's not a horror movie like the first one and as like creative, but it's more of a monster flick of just like, okay, I'm just gonna go for a ride. It's less groundbreaking, but it's still a Quiet Place. It's good. Let's see. I have 2 more movies that I want to talk about real quick before we get into our DCOM. These are both going to probably sound a little strange to you, but I'm going to just go based on title. Which one do you want to hear about first, Justin? Would you rather hear about Cat Person, or would you rather hear about Sniff?
I'm more of a dog person. Sniff sounds like it'll be more about dogs than cats. So let's go with Sniff.
Okay, Sniff. This is considered a stylish reinvention of the film Noir. Okay. And this is the cast: Morgan Freeman, Al Pacino, Helen Mirren, and Danny DeVito. And it's from the director of his name's Taylor Hackford. He's the guy who did Ray with Jamie Foxx, which is an interesting choice. This film follows Detective Joe, who's played by Freeman, and partner William, who's played by DeVito, as they investigate a high-end luxury retirement community after the mysterious deaths of 2 of its residents. What starts out as a normal case quickly turns strange as the detective duo uncover a hidden underworld of sex, drugs, and murder controlled by senior living community kingpin Harvey, played by Pacino, and his femme fatale enforcer, the Spider, played by Helen Mirren. It sounds like this could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Morgan Freeman and Danny DeVito are partners.
The retired detective partners who are investigating a retirement home after deaths.
I want that now. Al
Pacino's a retirement home kingpin, they said, who was in charge of the sex, drugs, and what is the other word? Murder.
And rock and roll. Oh, yeah.
Rock and roll.
that too.
Yeah, it sounds like an exciting movie, but the director said he's really excited to bring it more of a noir-driven type comedy.
Yeah, the last movie that he did was very bizarre. Taylor Hackford, the comedian.
What was the last one?
The comedian with Robert De Niro.
Oh, yeah.
He's like a insult comic who just goes around and just says things.
Like, you just wanted to see Robert De Niro say all this stuff, probably.
Robert De Niro, like, it was like a passion project for him for a long time, and Jeffrey Ross wrote the script. If you know him as the roast master general.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was a very bizarre movie. Wasn't terrible, but it was very bizarre. Him and Leslie Mann have sex in it, which is kind of weird to see. And yeah, that was like yeah, he hasn't really done all that much. Like he's just been pretty low key. So it's good to see him back to do something like that, you know. But that sounds great though. It's a great cast. I want to see Danny DeVito in a big role again. When he was
Yeah,
in
and not a kids movie.
yeah, I was just gonna say when he was in Jumanji, the second Jumanji movie with him and Danny Glover, I was like watching their scenes together and I was like, dude, why can't we get a movie with just these two?
The last movie news that I have is for a project that I was going to talk about a couple weeks ago, but I decided not to because it's just more projects have come up, but more casting has been announced for this movie, and it's on my list of projects that I'm going to be looking forward to. It's called Cat Person. It's based off a short story that was published in the New Yorker in 2017 and went viral for a long time. It's The movie synopsis says it's the brief relationship between a 20-year-old sophomore college student named Margot and an older man, Robert, who is a regular at the movie theater where Margot works. And it stars Nicholas Braun as the main character and a girl named Amelia Jones, who I haven't heard of. But I'm excited because I'm a big fan of Nicholas Braun. And the story was pretty intriguing.
Nicholas
After I read a
Braun.
little bit about it. But yeah, Nicholas Braun is from Succession. He's in Zola. He was in a couple. What was the other movies he's in? He's in a few other projects.
Hey, no, you can't forget about the movie we reviewed on History of
Oh yeah,
Popcorn. He was in
Minuteman.
Minuteman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the director of this movie, though, Justin, is one of the writers of Booksmart, or the writer.
Love it.
Yeah, one of the
Love
writers
it.
of Booksmart.
With it.
And she's directing it this time, this movie, and I'm interested because it's considered a thriller, like dark comedy type movie about a guy who just switches gears about who he is as a person
Mhm.
as she learns who this guy is. And I'm excited to see Nicholas Braun play this type of character. I don't want to spoil the story for people, but you can read it on the New Yorker. They have the whole thing on Wikipedia. You can find a lot of places to read what happens in Cat Person, but it's going to be an interesting thrill ride, I believe, in my opinion. Those are my words. But they added Michael Gandolfini to the cast, who I am excited for to be an actor in the future. And they also added Liza Koshy, who's a YouTuber, I guess, or Viner. So that's going to be one of her big movies that are coming out. Good for her. She's been in Netflix stuff, but yeah, Cat Person. I'm excited for this movie. It's going to be on my list.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely probably going to read that short story.
Yeah, and then a lot of controversy came out behind the author and stuff about how they wrote it. So you can look into all of that. I don't know how they're going to integrate it into a movie, but I'm excited for it.
Yep.
I am excited for that movie. Those are all the movie news we have for this week. We covered Scream, DC Fandom, the reboots. Yeah. Now we just have a DCOM to revisit, Justin. Mom's got a date with a vampire. That's what we're doing. Would you like to do the theme song for this one?
Yes. DCOM Revisited. TM.
Woo. So yeah, Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire came out in 2000, Justin. How old are we?
5.
Yeah, because it was like probably the end of the year, so 5.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I like this movie a lot. For those who don't know or didn't catch up with us or revisit it with us, Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire follows the Hanson kids on a weekend where they're about to have major plans. Adam is about to go see a band called Headless Horseman with his best buddy, who was, I think the kid was in Degrassi, right?
Yes, he was.
His best friend. Yeah. So they're going to go to a concert that weekend. And his sister Chelsea is going to, I think, a harvest festival that weekend with her friends, I believe, or with a boy. She going with a boy?
Yeah, she wants to go with her boyfriend Peter, who we never see.
Yeah, we never ever see him. That's why I was like, is there another? Why is she? Yeah, so she's going to the harvest festival that weekend, and unfortunately, they both get in trouble and get grounded, and so they just devise a evil plan to set their mom up on a date for that weekend, and then enabling them to be able to sneak out unnoticed. And their delight is cut short when the brother Taylor, the youngest brother Taylor, suspects that mom is on a date with a vampire. And
yes,
that's my best synopsis of it, and everything goes downhill from there. Like a lot of stuff happens in this movie, a lot more than I remembered. I'm like, are they? Because I remember when I was watching this movie, I remember the sequences at the house at the end, or the mansion at the end.
That's all I remember
I
too.
remember that very clearly. So I was like, are we about to go there? Because I remember I was like, I'm going to remember what happens when we get to that point. And a lot of stuff happens because you follow this the mom on the date the whole time.
Yeah, I thought this movie had the best cast of any DCOM that we've seen so far, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think Matt O'Leary, who plays Adam, and Laura Vandervoort, however you say her last name, who plays Chelsea. Those two had such great chemistry with each other. And Lynette, Caroline Ray, who plays the mom, thought that her journey throughout the movie I thought was actually pretty cool and interesting. Like how she even has like she says like to Dimitri, the mysterious man, yes. Charles Shaughnessy or something like that, the nanny guy, nanny Shaughnessy, there we go. She says that she thanks him for reminding her who she loves the most, and he's like thinking like, oh, she's talking about me. And she's like, no, not you, myself. Like, you're cool and everything.
Yeah, she falls in love with herself again.
Yeah, like, and she like literally does not give a flying fuck about Dimitri. And Dimitri is just like, all right, I'm just gonna do what I should have done at the begining, and just
that's when he finally forces the trance on her.
He's so like, let's talk about how dumb this vampire is. He does some stupid ass shit. It's like he had so many opportunities because it kind of seemed like, in a way, that it kind of seemed like, okay, so is he going to actually like fall in love with her or something? Like, is he like liking that she's like,
is he gonna turn into a good guy?
Yeah, but then right when she's like, oh no, I love myself, Dimitri's like, all right, fuck the shit. So
yeah, that was nice for too long. He thought,
yeah, I'm gonna eat you now, and you're gonna live with me for forever.
I'm gonna be honest. You were talking about the casting of Matt O'Leary as Adam. I wrote pretty early on that he reminded me of you right away, because when they first introduce him, he's watching it like one of his favorite vampire movies, like a sequel or something, and he begins quoting the movie to his sister while she's on the phone just to annoy her, and he's doing it like verbatim. And I think I was like, this guy reminds me of Justin, and so I just had to mention that. So if you guys watch it, I hope you guys see Justin too, and I see what I saw. But
I wish I was as cool as he was when I was 13. But because he's a pretty cool kid.
He's vampire obsessed, dude. He's vampire obsessed.
Yeah, it cracks me up. All these Disney Channel movies, there's always one person that has just a strange obsession with something, and like
over the top, and like makes over the top character.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, this can't be any other movie. It's like, if this wasn't a vampire movie, this would make no sense to me. It's like because he reads like the National Enquirer equivalent called like the Weekly Secret about vampires living, and he reads an article about Malachi Van Helsing, who's the modern Van Helsing of our generation. He's like, he's real. So he reads this article online, and that's when he decides to go to www.malachivanhelsing.com, because he thinks, I'll just Google the name or just type in the name as a website, and it takes him exactly where he needed to be. Don't you miss those days, the early 2000s, where all the things you just typed as www.iwanttosee.com.
I like how it was doing the dial-up.
Yeah, the huge computer. That's another thing I liked, is when they send the email they use the same magazine, this like National Enquirer like magazine, to find a dating suitor for their mom, and they email this guy named Wolfsbane, and when the email goes through, it gets sent to another huge computer, as it would the year 2000, I guess 1999 when they filmed it. And then it pans out, and you think it's going to be in an office room, and it's right next to an ancient looking coffin. And it's one of the weirdest looking images or sets I had ever seen. It's this like old Victorian vampire coffin, and then there's just huge computer right next to it.
Yeah.
It's like, he didn't have anything else in his room except his coffin and a computer.
Yeah, those
are the only two things in his bedroom, quote unquote.
Dude, yeah, I watched it with my friend, and that was the first like laugh out loud. Like I was watching while she was like kind of cleaning her house a little bit, and that was the first like laugh out. Like she was folding laundry, and, like we saw that where like you see the computer that pans out, and there's the fucking coffin, and you see it just open, and you see like the puffy shirt that Jerry Seinfeld wears in Seinfeld.
Yeah,
and it goes over.
quick.
Dude, so goddamn funny. We laughed
Because
so
those are the
hard.
only two things vampires need: is a dark coffin room with a computer.
Yeah, yeah, literally. And he lives next to a lake too, which doesn't make any sense because like vampires hate water. But hey, fuck it, whatever. Dude, no,
it's more luring for women, I guess.
Yeah, that's I presume.
Yeah.
But no, I love that dude's performance though. That guy's performance was hysterical. But yeah, no, his performance was so fucking funny to me, especially towards the end. Like it, like the
all
movie,
his yelling stuff. I remember in the
so
deep parts of my brain.
Yeah, or when he throws the baseball at his head, and he like turns around, he's like, and then he like, I remember that when I was a kid. I remember that part actually made me like scared when I was a kid.
Yeah,
like,
I was like, God.
But that's the thing about his character is that he's wacky, but he's still kind of intimidating. But he makes because it's a Disney Channel movie, of course, so it's the decisions that are made aren't going to be the most realistic. We're not watching
not fully motivated, but yeah.
But dude, the part like where Van Helsing, who's played by Lizzie McGuire's dad, bursts through the house, and he flies to him, and all Lizzie McGuire's dad does is move. And so he falls, and so he gets back up, he flies again, and the other thing he does is shut a door. And then he takes out the wooden stake.
Mind you, this is happening at super speed too,
dude. Yeah, no, the slow-mo and super speed.
Close the door.
Yeah. Dude, the slow-mo at the end when like they trap him in the coffin.
It goes on for a lot longer than I thought.
Hard. Yeah, no, he and he's like, get out of the way or something. He said something just like, this
way
is so
early.
That was the only performance, honestly. I thought he was awful, and I thought he was totally miscasted. What's the guy's name again? He was also in Revenge of the Nerds. Robert Carradine.
Yeah,
he was just like, I know what he was trying to go for, but it just didn't work. And compared to like, because honestly, everyone else besides like the younger brother too, I thought that he was kind of annoying, but you have to expect those. But like the main four people, like Matt O'Leary, Laura Vandervoot, Caroline Ray, and Charles Shaughnessy, I thought all of them did such a great job. Like they knew, that's what I love about these DCOMs, is that the ones that they know, okay, we're not making anything groundbreaking here.
They jump right in.
Yeah, it's just a silly movie, but they all just delivered. They all did a great job. Like the part where they go to the restaurant because the younger brother Taylor, he knows that Dimitri's a vampire because Dimitri decides to turn to a bat right in front of the grocery store.
Full on the bat, and the kid's scarred for like a couple minutes. Because the next scene, he's just like sitting there looking off into the vast nothing while his siblings get ready. To leave him home alone. And he's just like scarred from what he saw.
Yeah, understandably so. And so he calls, or he runs away to try to stop Dimitri from taking over
on his own,
their mom.
No one's gonna believe him.
Yeah, and so they chase after him, and then Dimitri does like the spoon trick, which he makes up to like, if I drop the spoon,
they're like, all right, we'll prove to you it's not a vampire, he says. So they just straight up go during the date that their mom's on and be like, hey, are you a vampire?
Yeah,
just like
I know, it's so silly.
Like, okay.
Yeah, the thing that made me laugh so hard though was when he looks through the mirror and he's gone. He literally looks back and forth 6 times.
I liked how they did that on the way out, but they did use
it was a clever,
that a lot.
It was a clever part, but he does it so many times, and I'm like, we were laughing so hard.
He's got to really figure it out. Yeah.
So I kept on replaying it. So we just kept, and you can tell too that it's not like the same. You can tell that it's not like one shot of him just doing that. It's like the same shot repeated like over and over again, and it's just a very odd choice. But I really like this movie, dude. No, that kid Adam is he's gonna be a fantastic con artist one day. because he weasels his way out of so many situations. Like besides, like when he has the coffin, he has the upper hand, then he grabs onto the sister. That was a dumb decision. They should have both gone the coffin, but whatever. But like even when he's in school and like he flat out like he's like taking the article for as an essay, and then he just flat out just calls himself out. No, it's from this. The teacher doesn't like he doesn't even get in trouble for that. The teacher's just like,
yeah,
God damn it. Because even she was like, God damn it, this kid just flat out told me that he lied. I wanted to get him in trouble. And when he's like talking like to the bouncers when they're at that club, did you notice that every Disney Channel movie has to require somebody singing for a long period of time?
Yeah, there's a lot of music. It's like in the Disney contract that there's like music sequences, it feels like. Because it's like when they put her on a stage, I wrote like, okay, this is a good way to kill 3.5 minutes. Have one music segment.
Did you know though that band before the band that was on before she went on? I was like, why do they look so familiar? They were also the band that were in The Mask.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's super random.
Interesting connection.
I know. I kept on looking at the dude and I was like, what the fuck is he from? And then I realized, oh dude, they're the band from The Mask that like spins around. Anyways.
That's nice. That's a cool connection. Yeah.
Interesting little tidbit. But yeah, like going back to Adam's like fucking weaseling and his smooth talking his way out of situations. Like there's this bouncer, he's like, hey, you're not supposed to be in here. It's like, well, that's my mom. And he's like, oh, your mom's like a legend around here. You're still not allowed to be in here. He's like, well, I'm only in here because like there's just like this weird dude that's like looking at her, and immediately the dude's like, that guy? Oh, don't you worry about it. Stay right there. You're fine. And you know what? Have a drink. Hey, you need a cigarette, kid? Adam gets whatever he wants in this.
Yeah, he just blamed Dimitri for stalking.
But
he gets kicked out, violently kicked out too. They throw him out of the club and he falls into the 2 bikes that the kids brought. And it's like one of the most violent like nightclub kick out scenes I've seen in a while. And I was like, wow. And that's the scene where it was groundbreaking when they showed him climb up the wall for the first time, like straight up vertically, just walked. And I was like, I remember seeing that in the trailer after the movie had come out and they're like started to do repeats. They started to put that in the promo footage, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's cool."
Yeah, dude. No, overall, I think that this is definitely at the top. Not gonna lie, like I was excited to rewatch this movie, but I was expecting it to be like Now You See It, because remember when I was really excited to watch Now You See It, and then we watched.
I was really excited to see it, and now I saw it.
Yeah, and that was an awful, awful movie. So that's why I was worried about this one. I was like, God damn. And I was at my friend's house too, and I was like, I have to watch this movie before I do this. So I was like, do you mind? She was like, no, I love Disney Channel movies, so let's just do it. And we were both like, this is actually like this is a lot of fun. Like we had a blast.
Yeah.
Right after we watched Smart House.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, we do. And by the way, we need to do that one soon because talk about
we'll do that.
That movie's scary.
I don't know why, but that seems like a spring movie. What would you give the nostalgia rating for Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire?
Oh, I would give it a solid 10 out of 10 because there are a lot of scenes in this where like it brought me right back. Like it and I'm doing this for my friend too. Oh yeah, we're only going to 5 now, huh?
Oh, it's out of 10.
Okay. Yeah, no,
we switched it from 5
because we were both like most of the scenes that were in it, we were both kind of like, oh yeah, that's right. That like, yeah, it brought back a lot of memories. But my actual rating, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's a solid, stupid, fun time, and it's still not perfect. I don't think we're ever gonna get anything close to Brink, but my friend, she had like a lot of ideas for us to go to, but I was like, we'll get to that soon.
My nostalgia rating for it would be like a 9 out of 10. I thought it was really reminiscent of childhood. Like whenever something I remember really clearly, I was like, ooh, I remember that. But my real rating was probably like a 6 out of 10 because there's some stuff that I'm just like, it is pretty goofy at sometimes, but and I felt the length, even though it's only like an hour and 10 minutes or something. But I was like, they're still doing stuff. I'm surprised they found stuff to do.
Right. I definitely felt the length when they were at the club. That
Mhm.
entire sequence, I was like, wow, we're still here, huh? But everything else I thought was pretty well paced.
So yeah, I would definitely watch it again. Like,
Yeah. This is our 10th DCOM
ooh,
Revisited. Look at us, dude. We're fucking killing it.
ooh. Yeah,
God, man.
that's our DCOM revisited. Hope you guys join us for the next one. I think that's our whole episode.
Yeah,
I do believe.
I do
Um,
declare.
we have some notable some notable releases this weekend. Justin, are you going to try to see any of these?
Let's hear him.
Are you going to try to see Dune, Ron's Gone Wrong, or The Harder They Fall? That Netflix Western movie.
I'm definitely seeing Ron's Gone Wrong.
Zach Galifianakis has come back. He plays a
Actually,
robot. For
that
those who don't
actually
know,
does look cute. But
it does. Yeah,
I'll
I like Zach
probably
Galifianakis.
I'll probably end up watching Dune. Probably, dude.
I
But
mean,
hey,
that's on
also,
HBO, so it comes out a day early on HBO
yeah,
Max.
yep, very true.
Yeah. Thank you guys for checking out this week. Follow us on Spotify and Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube and tell your friends, and
Click that bell.
click the bells, because we post sometimes that are not on Tuesdays. Sometimes we post
Yeah.
extra stuff that you guys don't see on YouTube. So if you're listening on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, because we have exclusive content on that is not on Spotify.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything else, Justin?
No. I think that did it. All right, dude.
Well, yeah. I'll talk to you soon then.
Yes,
Let us know
sir.
what you guys are watching. Have good weeks. Until next time, guys. Goodbye. I don't know how to say goodbye to people properly every week.